Most people in their 20s are a bit lost or overwhelmed by the pressure that society puts on them. The social pressure of owning a house, having a nice car, having a good career, or having thousands of dollars in your bank account. Well, I really think it's unjust. Like you should have like a social mute button or something. Some ideas do have like an expiration date, and I feel like these stagnant old world views are one of those. It's okay to be stumbling around, breaking some things along the way, and maybe finding something that sticks. I do feel like it's kind of rare in these days, but yeah, if you get it, go for it. So overall, in my 20s, I had a shit ton of fun actually. Like really had a lot of fun, but I didn't prioritize on the things that mattered. I was heavily addicted on drugs and alcohol. Most of the times I can't even remember what I did, what I said, what I lied. And along the way, I learned a lot of lessons, and I would like to share them with you. I definitely think they help. They help me a lot. So let's jump right in. Spotlight syndrome. Not like it's actually like a medical condition or anything, but it's just, it sounds cool. So, people live their lives assuming everyone else is constantly like following them, watching them, what they're doing, what they're saying. That's, in my opinion, it's definitely not the case. They try buying expensive stuff that's like a social norm nowadays, posting on social media that's so disconnected from reality that's it's actually kind of ridiculous right now with all the filters and shit. As far as they watching you goes, people are not watching you. They do not care. Even nowadays, posting on social media with all the filters, it's actually gone really insane. It's so far fetched from reality. It's ridiculous, at least in my view. So instead of wasting your life on looking good to an audience that doesn't even know that you're performing, just live your life and do the things that feel right for you. People will be much more impressed by your progress in the long run than your fancy designer clothes that you bought on your last time. Don't rush and don't panic. So, in my opinion, most of you are going to live well past 100. So, what's even the point of worrying about the simple decade? There's a good saying that I heard lately was that nothing will ruin your 20s more than thinking you should have your life together by now. So, the simple way of not panicking or making sure that you're not rushing over a task that seems a bit too much at first is to do a brain dump. You basically write everything down that is related to the problem on a piece of paper, and then it simplifies the whole progress for you. It really helps a lot. As for the don't rush topic, I'm not saying like you should move around in slow motion, but just move at a pace that is comfortable for you. Exercise and habits. This was actually one of the bigger ones for me. Of course, we all know that exercising makes us look a lot better. For me personally, the kick was that it really improved my mental health by actually getting me into the rhythm of keeping habits. Small habits make a huge difference in your life. So let's take, for example, the 2 minute rule. If you see something that takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. Like you see a cup lying around, you see some dirty dishes, you need to clean your room, you need to make your bed in the morning. Just do it immediately and you will feel better. And over time, it will build your habits as well. After doing this for a while, you will notice your house will get in much better order in time. Also, for exercise, you shouldn't just exercise for the sake of exercising. You should like try to make it into a habit. You don't need to go to the gym, pay a ton of membership fees just to take selfies in the mirror. You can always just stick around at your house, maybe go for a run around the neighborhood, do some push-ups at home, and you'll feel great actually. And the obvious thing is that your physique will improve as well. So that's good. So the next one I'm going to cover is drugs stop being fun. I read this quote by Alan Watts, and he said that if you get the message, hang up the phone. This is of course to do, I think, with psychedelics, like if you get the message, hang up the phone. But you can broaden it to alcohol and drug use overall. So I get the thing with alcohol. Me personally, I was heavily addicted to alcohol, and it does help you break down the social anxiety barrier. But in the long run, it fucking wrecks you, man. It really does wreck you. I'm not saying like you should be a monk and sit on a rock all day and meditate and teach random people that pass you on the street about nirvana. But still, try to make sure that drugs are secondary to having fun. Learn to say, I don't know. It's perfectly normal to know very little of stuff in your 20s and even in your late 20s to be exact. So again, society puts pressure on people, especially on young people in their 20s, in their early 20s, to be a specialist, and I think it's wrong. I used to work in a bunch of companies as a project manager, as the owner of the company, and as a worker. And each time, it doesn't matter who asked me of anything, like even like on social media, on filming, on editing, on complex machinery, CNC benches, whatever, I always said yes. And that's a huge, huge mistake. Like, I couldn't sleep over it. I spent the next couple of days not sleeping, being on YouTube, studying what I could because of this little lie I told that yeah, sure, I know it. And it really wrecked me, you know. It's much easier to say I don't know or ask for help if you can. Just be brave enough to ask for help. People will appreciate you more if you ask for help. They see you have the mental capacity of being humble, and people really do appreciate that. Self love. Injecting this little one here as well. You know, it doesn't mean you have to be a narcissist to like things about yourself. It's much easier to advance in life if you accept who you are, if you know where you're going, and you like the positives about yourself. Think about self love as a strong foundation. You need to have it in order to start building on it. The last thing that I would like to cover is hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. Like, we're all guilty of procrastinating, especially me. But there's no easy way of saying it. We just need to do the hard things in order to advance. It's just as simple as that. You just need to do it. I'm not saying like you should always pick the hardest route in life, or like even maybe the pointless one, like trying to echolocate some contact lens fluid in a pharmacy when you can just like pick it up, you know. So the sad thing about this is that most things in life are not easy to obtain, at least the ones that are worthwhile. I'll just leave one sentence hovering over this. Though no one can go back and have a brand new start, you can always have a brand new ending. Thanks for watching.